Alright. The name is Dale, doing a movie review for The Joker. I'm also going to do a quick recommendation / review of the Netflix limited miniseries called Unbelievable. These reviews and recommendations are done on behalf of Audio Liquor Magazine. Going to start with The Joker. When I first heard they was possibly doing a solo Joker movie, I was like, Why would they do that? There's no need for it. I thought it was Warner Brothers / DC movie universe just throwing an idea up against the wall and seeing what sticks. You had heard they was going to possibly do a Nightwing movie, possibly a Batgirl movie directed by Joss Whedon. You had heard he was going to do a Cyborg solo movie, a Flash movies. That's been talked about and had directors going in and out for years now. They can't even get that off the ground. They even had an idea for a solo villain movie for the Joker called Black Adam, and they had cast The Rock for that. Been talking about that for years. They can't seem to get that off the ground, so I didn't think they were even going to make this movie. And so when I heard it was actually in the process of getting made, I was very surprised. And for them to get Joaquin Phoenix to play the Joker and for it to be a rated R movie, I was totally on board. I was all for that. I said, this is going to be, I'm geeking to see this movie. It was like one of my most anticipated movies of this year. So I was really curious and interested to see how they was going to do this movie. And there was a lot of controversy before the movie even hit the theaters about this sparking somebody to commit a mass shooting. I guess it was all stemming from what happened years ago in Colorado when that guy shot up that theater for The Dark Knight. But that didn't make total sense to me, because we've had another version of Joker since then in the Suicide Squad. So I didn't understand where that was coming from. And it was extra security at the theaters. So I didn't know if this was going to drive people away from seeing it because of the fear, but obviously it didn't. Not to, I guess, the degree that I thought it might, because it's doing well at the box office. It's making its money. It's breaking records for October and for rated R movies. So for those who are not aware what the Joker movie is about, it's an origin story for Batman's most, I guess you could say, popular villain, the Joker. In this version of the Joker, he's mentally troubled and he's an inspiring comedian. He wants to be a comedian. His real name is Arthur, and he feels disregarded. He gets mistreated by society, and this embarks him on this downward world spiral where he commits crimes and becomes a psychopath, so to speak. And it brings him face to face with his alter ego, which is the Joker. And it's directed by Todd Phillips. He's known for doing comedies. He did all 3 of the Hangover movies. The first Hangover is considered a classic. He did Old School, which is considered a classic. He did Road Trip, very funny movie. The comedy version of Starsky and Hutch. He did Due Date, which is a very funny movie. So this is a different angle for him. This is not a comedy, so to speak. Even though Arthur wants to be a stand-up comedian, this is not a comedy at all. This is a very gritty, dark, disturbing, grimy movie. It's more of a, I would say, psychological drama. It's not a lot of action in it at all. You have maybe like 3 or 4 very violent scenes, but other than that, it's just a character study. It's basically you're getting in the mind of how Arthur becomes the Joker. And Joaquin Phoenix, he does a great job of acting. He deserves an Oscar nomination, and he might even win. It just depends on what other movies come after this, but he's looking to be the front runner so far, in my opinion. Then you got Robert De Niro, who's in the movie. You got Zazie Beetz and a host of others. This movie is heavily influenced by old movies like Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. is like a mix of Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy, which is ironic because Robert De Niro would star both of those movies, and now he's in this Joker movie. Even the tone and the look of it reminds me of Taxi Driver, which I didn't have a problem with. I found that I kind of like that. And besides the great acting, I think the direction is very good. I think Todd Phillips did a great job directing the movie. Just the look of it and the feel of it is a very grounded movie. If it wasn't for the character Joker himself, you could basically take this out of the comic book world. There's no superpowers, there's no Batman in this movie, and you would think to yourself, how can they even make a Joker movie without Batman and it'd be good? And they did it. So it doesn't even feel like a comic book, quote unquote comic book movie. And I like the score, and I'm not even big on scores like that, but the music that they place in the film is very good. I like how they do it. It just goes along with it. It just helps the movie flow. It feels like even like it's an actor in the movie. It's like so much part of the film that it drives it as well, makes it what it is. And the only problem I had with the movie was Zazie Beetz plays a character in the movie, and I didn't think that character was needed. That's nothing against Zazie Beetz acting. She's very easy on the eyes, very nice looking. But I just didn't think, even though I kind of get what they did when they reveal what's really going on with her character as far as her relationship to Arthur, but I didn't think it was needed. And then they have a real convenient scene with those two that I thought was that wouldn't really happen in real life, but it didn't ruin the movie for me. It wasn't bad. It didn't bring the movie down, but I just didn't think it was needed, if that make any sense. And you could say this is a commentary on mental health, city funding, social services, the poor against the rich, classism, those type of things. He got those themes all through the film. So I really like the movie. They're talking about this even came from Joaquin Phoenix's mouth, that he's hinting that he would be possibly interested in doing a sequel to this film, which is very surprising because he turned down the role of Doctor Strange because he didn't want to commit to several films playing that character. So I'm surprised that he's even alluding to he might be willing to do a second movie. I don't know if they will. I don't know how they would do it. I mean, the only way I can see them doing it, if they have like a young James Gordon. He's not commissioner yet. He's like a young detective and he's trying to catch the Joker. That's the only way I can see them possibly pulling it off, because, spoiler alert, this is a quick spoiler alert, Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, is a little kid in this Joker movie. So they couldn't do a second Joker movie with Batman because the age difference the gap is so far between each other. Like, Joker's like a 40-some-year-old man, late 30s maybe, at the youngest in this film, so they wouldn't be able to do that. But anyway, I give this movie Joker A-. The more and more I think about it, the more and more I like it, but I'm gonna stay at A-. Some people saying it's a masterpiece. I wouldn't go that far. It's a good movie, very good movie, but I don't think it's that good. But anyway, we're going to move on to this quick, I would say, recommendation/review of this Netflix series called Unbelievable. It's only 8 episodes. I had no idea, had heard nothing about this series before just one night, just a Friday night, just clicking, seeing what was on Netflix. And I said, oh, what is this? And I happened to stumble across it, so to speak. And it ended up being a very good movie. I couldn't understand why Netflix didn't promote this or market this, because you got Toni Collette, whatever her name is, she's in it, and it's based on a true story. You have this young lady who's charged with lying about being raped, but then you have Toni, her character and another lady, I forgot the actress name, she's very good in it as well. They are tracking down this guy who's raping several other females in the area, in the Colorado area. So it may be linked to this young lady who's being accused of lying, or it might not. So I'm not going to spoil anything. You have to see it to find out what happens with that. But it was very good. There's only one season, unless they decide to do some type of anthology type series with it, because it begins and ends with this case. The case ends with the last episode. So if they did another season, it'd be totally about a different case. So, but check that out. A-, I give it an A-. There you have it. I'm done. I'm finished. There you have it.